Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I'm so glad you could take the time to join me today. Now, what we're doing today, as this is being recorded, it is Thursday, and on this preceding Tuesday, maybe it was Monday, I forget now, Apple dropped the latest version of OS Sequoia, 15.3, I believe it is. As I usually do, I've held off a day or two. There has been no updated release of OpenCore Legacy Patcher. If it has not been released at this point, the assumption is that it's all clear to go ahead and install a new update. So we're going to do that today. Before we dive into that, though, I do want to mention there have been so far two issues that have come up with Sequoia on the Classic Mac Pro. One, I talked about some in the last upgrade video. The webcam does not work. Now, I think if you look carefully, you will notice the quality of this introduction is not so great. The reason for that is I'm using the built-in camera on the Apple Cinema display from 2010. Which is, to put it charitably, serviceable. Okay, the other, and this I've noticed only in the last 2 or 3 weeks, when my daughter has sent me pictures via messages, and I have tried to open those pictures, they just don't want to open. When I save them to the computer and try to open them with Preview struggles like crazy. Alright, both of these issues I have tested on another Mac Pro running Sonoma, and they don't exist. The webcams are fine, Preview functions fine, everything's fine. So hopefully this is something that will get fixed. Particularly since there hasn't been an OCLP update, I'm not really expecting it to be fixed in 15.3, but hope springs eternal. Okay, so you know the drill with this. We're going to download it. I will show you the process for anybody who might possibly be new to this. But if you want to follow along with this whole procedure, please stay tuned. Alright, so let's open up system settings. You can see the notification there that is telling us that there is a software update available. And when you click on it, of course, it always checks. Even though we know it's there, it wants to make sure. So we're going to click Update Now. And agree. Now here's the download. It's not telling us how big it is, but it's going to end up being very big. Now, I'm waiting at this point. It seems to be flying along. I'd wonder if it's begun the download already. It may have. Yeah, 15.22 gig and 31 minutes remaining. And this is what I was waiting for, is OpenCore Legacy Patcher jumping up, telling us that it's going to download the KDK. Alright, which is not going to be necessary. This machine is hardwired. It would have internet regardless once everything is installed, but it's going to take some time. Okay, so this download will take a while. Then it's got to prepare, which is going to take longer, and will be here forever. So to spare you that, stay tuned. Okay, the download is done, and it's saying 35 minutes remaining. Now, the download ended up taking roughly 20 minutes, so it wasn't really that bad. The KDK download, by the way, for what it's worth, was maybe 5 minutes. It wasn't lengthy at all. The 35 minutes, it won't be 35 minutes, but it is going to be kind of lengthy. So we'll bring you back on board when things actually start to happen. Stay tuned. Okay, yeah, one of the annoying things here, it says preparing 35 minutes, You get bored looking at the things, so I started doing some other things, and bang, restarting the computer. It wasn't anywhere near 35 minutes. It was 15 to 20 maybe. All right, here we go. Now, of course, if you follow these at all, you know we're going to go through a series of several restarts and a whole bunch of things going on. This could take a bit before it actually goes into the first restart, so I'll take it easy on you. Stay tuned. And we seem to be in the first restart already. It was a few minutes, not many. Both screens are black. And the next thing we see should be the OpenCore bootloader. Of course, this machine does take a long time to boot up, partly due to all that RAM. And hi, by the way, I'm glad you can see me so clearly in the reflection. All right. The secondary monitor has become active. So we should see something soon. I'll plug in a USB mouse in case I need it. And here we go. So we want to boot into the macOS installer. And of course the verbose output, I always set OpenCore to show the verbose output. Always handy if something does go wrong, you can get some kind of idea of what's going wrong. Things are not going wrong, it's going so fast you can't possibly read it. Or if you can, your eyes are way better than mine, or your brain is way faster than mine. Both of which are definite possibilities. Okay. I see some reference in there to patching going on, so stay tuned. I always need to make mention of this. We've got ramrod display set granular progress, forced. What are we up to? Yeah, I'm not seeing the number in there, actually. Maybe I'm just missing it. Doesn't really matter. It usually has to end up somewhere around 100 times that you see this, and it does slow everything down. All right, stay tuned. Okay, as you can see there, the system is shutting down notification, at least abort command. So we're about to get into our second reboot. So we'll bring you back when that happens. Stay tuned. Okay, so the machine is in the process of rebooting. Again, secondary monitor is active. And we should see the bootloader presently. And here it is. And we are booting into the actual drive itself. So much for the installer. All right, now this should lead us eventually to an Apple logo with a progress meter, then another reboot, etc. I think another reboot after that. All right, so stay tuned. And exactly as I predicted, here it is. Probably less than a minute after I ended the last clip. I should say, thus far everything is absolutely smooth. I couldn't ask for it to be an easier process. There is no indication at this point of how long we're going to sit right at this point, but I shall let you know. Stay tuned. Okay, that was, well, we had the progress meter going on. It was almost through. And we then saw a very, very quick verbose output as the machine began its, I believe this is the third restart. So we'll bring you back when something happens. Stay tuned. Kind of interesting. I could tell something was going to happen because the light flashed on the USB mouse I put in. The USB hub that I've got plugged into the USB 3.2 card on the machine, the lights came on just before the screen opened up. So we should get to the bootloader soon, he said. And here it is. Same deal, right into the SSD. And this should get us to another Apple logo with the progress meter, this time with an indication of how long, inaccurate though that may be. And oh, this may go to the other monitor. I don't know why it does that. Both screens are active right now. Neither one displaying anything. Up, and here we go. That has tended to happen recently, that strange display on the second screen. And here we, on the main screen, we have our Apple logo and the progress meter, and it's saying about 9 minutes remaining, which is probably pretty accurate. All right. Thank you for staying with this long. I really appreciate it. Hang in there. Please stay tuned again. All right, we're into less than a minute, and yes, I think the 9 minutes was relatively accurate, and we booted up. I'll be darned. I was expecting another restart and going through that. Okay, it wants me to sign in, and I don't have a keyboard connected, and the Bluetooth isn't active. All right, hang on. I got to go scare up a USB keyboard and get it working. Stay tuned. I apologize for the really miserable lack of focus that the camera is giving me here, but in any event, this is the worst I've seen this. Of course, we don't have root patches installed. I am having tremendous difficulty getting past the login screen to be able to install root patches. Now, I do one thing. There's a trick, by the way. It was so slow, and hopefully this is coming up now. It was so slow that I couldn't get the USB keyboard to work. Now both screens have gone black. So I forced the machine off and started again, and it got marginally better. Oh well. Right at this point, I don't know what's going on. Stay tuned. Okay, this is another restart in hopes of trying to get some kind of response from the keyboard and mouse. Yeah, I mean, with root patching, it's been since Ventura, actually, that you required root patching. It's never been this bad. As of right now, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get through this. I mean, worst case scenario is I make a USB installer and install the whole thing from USB, which will install the root patches. Unfortunately, I'll be back to a clean slate on this. All right, hopefully. See, I mean, basically, for a while here, I will just try force restarting this until I reach a point where I can get logged in. Okay. No response to the keyboard. The mouse is not great. Okay. I hit a key and then 5 or 6 seconds later, it shows up. Yep. There it is. Now, I suppose I could just type the whole password in normally. Okay. And it would eventually catch up and register. Okay. One more character to go. And there it is. So I'll hit enter. And it's trying to do something. It has gotten a little bit better every time, I do have to admit. Aha! Finally, we're in. Okay. Now, these things should have been closed out. So we shall close them. And you can see clearly the... All right, this is actually behaving fairly well, so I did have to do a couple of restarts. Now, what I'm wondering here, ideally, OpenCore Legacy Patcher is supposed to pop up and warn me that I'm running without root patches, which I clearly know, and then offer to install them. But that hasn't happened for me for several times. Doesn't matter, I leave it in the dock. We'll open it up. And post-install root patch. Start root patching. Okay, this is going to take a while, so stay tuned. That was actually relatively quick. So now we're going to reboot. And hopefully we'll come back into a working system. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we are again. Looking about this Mac. And you see the picture of the 7,1 2019 Mac Pro, because I've got it set right now to spoof as that. And I did that as part of the effort to try to get the webcam to work. It was in the SM BIOS settings. Nothing I've tried has worked, obviously, as you can see. All right. As far as the pictures, I need to do some more research on that, because the only pictures I've really tried are those ones that my daughter has sent to me. I need to ascertain whether it's a problem with all pictures or if it really is just those particular pictures. And I'll report back on that eventually. In any event, it was a pain to get it booted up again. The actual upgrade was totally smooth, but trying to get logged in to the computer so that I could do the root patching was extremely difficult. That we're going to have to see about. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse. And the way I solved it, I had to do, I believe it was 2 force restarts. The third time, it was working enough that I could get logged in. Once I got logged in, it was reasonable enough. All right. Yeah, my advice to anyone with the 5,1 Mac Pro, stay with Sonoma for now. You're not going to get anything really out of Sequoia that you can't get in Sonoma at this point. And hopefully a lot of these issues will start to get ironed out. And I'll be here to report on that. All right. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we can make this world a better place, and it has to start with being good to ourselves. And good gracious Lord, it is not a better place. It's becoming a pretty dark place. So please take very, very good and careful care in these increasingly difficult times. In any event, we're going to continue with the channel here. My next planned video is going to be upgrade to storage on the M4 Mac Mini, which should be of interest. I've had a lot of fun with that, and boy, those machines are fantastic. I do have to say, both the M4 Pro and the regular M4. So that's coming up. I'll have to revisit this. If I can figure out anything about either the camera or the pictures issue, I'll revisit the Test 5,1. I'm just glad to have it running again, to be perfectly honest. All right, so until those things come up and are available on the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.